Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Did anybody in the chat, if you did, leave a comment in the chat room? That's of course after you like the video, please. Don't forget to like and share. We're going for 10 million views today. Wouldn't that be cool? So if everybody shares the video, we might hit 10 million. All right, what's going on? Having coffee with common sense. You know what? I think you get notified every time, and that's good to see. I'm actually glad to see that. Guys, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know where you're from. And if you saw a meteor last night, what's going on, Laughing Taffy? Good to see you back in the house, Laughing Taffy. 4762. What's up, Paul Levi? And of course, Agent Fletcher. There's my moderator. Got the best moderator on YouTube. Did you guys see any meteors last night? Please tell me you did. Liked and shared. Thank you, Jay Howlett. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, guys. That's very, very cool. I'm wondering, did anybody see any meteors last night? Hello from Alabama, Maryland, North Dakota in the house. Thank you, Wade, for the like. Thank you, guys. In southern Idaho, waving hand. All right, guys, very cool. North Dakota, Maryland, Denver, Colorado, Michigan, Bowes, Arizona, New Brunswick, Canada. Hey, listen, guys, did you see any meteors last night? Well, if you didn't, check it out. Tonight, you might have an even better chance. Here's a look at the Soho-Lascaux C3, and it's no coincidence that this occurred yesterday. This is a debris field, and it's no coincidence that we're going through a debris field right now. 3200 Pantheon. It's a big rock comet that's leaving behind, has left behind a very thick trail. And it's in the solar system, and we go through that trail, whatever you want to call it, once a year. And it's that time of year, jade green, Cydonia. So as we're going through the densest part of the tail tonight's your best chance to see possibly 60, that's right, 60 meteorites per hour. That is literally 2 per minute. Now, will it be like that verbatim exactly? Probably not. I've attempted many of these, and honestly, the Geminid is by far the best. So where do you look? Well, you look up in the eastern sky. Face east, but look straight up. And they can come from any direction, Susan. So enjoy, as long as it's not cloudy in your location. I know they're getting snow in the East Central Plains over in the Ohio and in Kentucky, Indiana. They're seeing some pretty heavy snow today. In fact, I think they're under a winter storm warning there, Tarkster. So a lot of snow headed towards Ohio and Indiana. Once again, I have an update on 3i Atlas, some images that you guys probably have not seen. We're going to take a look at those and a little video I put together here in just a minute. I have a rare sky, speaking of Cincinnati, purple, something purple in last night's sky above Cincinnati. You're looking at the summit of Mount Kilauea on the big island of Hawaii, and the wind is apparently out of the east, blowing the smoke towards the camera. Happens every once in a while. It's not erupting today, but earlier in the week it was throwing an absolute fit and throwing lava in the neighborhood of 1,000 feet in the sky. Pretty incredible. We do have a coronal hole facing the Earth. For those of you guys who like to follow the sun, this thing has turned into quite the behemoth. It's a big old horseshoe is what it is, and it started out as this right here. Just this part, and now it's expanded over to here. So it's occupying most, not literally, but it's all above the equator, all of the coronal hole, with the exception of this one down here. So that stream of high-speed solar wind would not affect the Earth because it's going to go down this way. Some of this material, however, will impact the Earth anytime. We might see some geomagnetic storm activity here very soon. No solar flares, as there's no sunspots facing the Earth right now. We've had some intermittent solar storms, just G1s, nothing of any significance at all. I did think maybe some auroras were seen up in northern Canada, probably Iceland and places like that, but nothing deep in the lower latitude. Here's the home page photo today out of Virginia. Scott, check that out. He couldn't help but notice what looked like a perfect tube up in the sky. This is a real photo, guys, not something that's fake. That's real. I know it looks fake. I couldn't agree with you more, but it's not. That's real. I have a video around here somewhere of that very, very bizarre sky above Virginia. No wonder he stopped and started filming that thing. Gotta be honest, I would have done the same exact thing. Unbelievable. Want to take you guys now to Cincinnati, Ohio. You ready? You guys are in for a treat. I always try to give you guys the best. I give you the best that I got every day. Some days are just better than others. We're starting off right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jade Green, 6464-1212. 2025. Look what Jade saw in the sky. Are you serious right now? Yes, I'm serious. She saw that in last night's sky. She didn't know what it was. Keep in mind, she lives here and she's never seen anything like this before. And usually those horticulture buildings that are off in the distance in cities, around, major cities, not always around major cities, but a lot of the time. This is Jade. Yeah, there you go, Jade. Jade saw this, and Jade's in the chat room. What was that, Jade? Is there what do you call it, a horticulture facility over there? Because sometimes those will illuminate the sky when there's a lot of cloud cover. It's usually a very distinguishably color of pink. That's purple, and it's small. It's in a small area. Jade Green, 6464, saw this in last night's sky. Good catch. How about that? Way to go, Jade. And you can see it's kind of got a little bit of the pink over there on the right, but not much. Just a very small section of the sky. Great catch, and thanks for sharing, Jade. Really appreciate that. This was above Cincinnati, Ohio, where it is currently snowing. It is snowing. They're under a winter storm warning in Cincinnati, Ohio today. They could see 6+ inches of snow very close to downtown. Thank you, Jade. Really appreciate that. Maybe there was something going on downtown. Don't know. I'm not super familiar with Cincinnati's nighttime skyline, but sometimes these can be horticulture buildings off in the distance, but they normally occupy a fairly large portion of the sky, and it's normally dark pink, not purple like that. So close to Cincinnati, maybe there was something going on. I know there's a game in town tomorrow. The Bengals play the Ravens tomorrow in Cincinnati. So be checking that out myself. Okay, so that's Cincinnati. Here's a cool looking sky. I believe this is out of what, South Dakota? Yeah, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I haven't
started recording the thing yet.
Oh, she was all worked up over this thing. Let me turn that volume down just a little bit. I wanted to share this with you out of South Dakota, Linda Oliver. Wow, that's what you call a jumbo halo, very low to the ground. And I haven't done anything to this except put her name on it. Are you serious right now? The sky is seriously putting on a show, and you don't have to go far to see it. Just be alert. You've got a high definition recording device in your hand, so be ready to record at a moment's notice, as there's always something going on, like Jonathan Rogers here out of Lebanon, Tennessee. What is that? This is at original speed. I've had this video for a minute. I decided to share it with you guys today. I had it in a folder tucked over on a different screen, actually. Look at that. This is above Tennessee. There shouldn't be any rockets above Tennessee, right? And he's not going to stop what he's doing to record an airplane. He sees airplanes all the time. So that was not an airplane? He was totally taken back by that.
It stopped.
It stopped, and it started moving again. Airplanes
now it's fading away.
Don't stop and start moving again in midair. That's not a good thing for airplanes to do. So, yeah, anyway, interesting video out of Tennessee. A lot going on in Tennessee and above Cincinnati here recently. You guys have been waiting for our friend Atlas. Here we go. What is this thing, guys? What is that thing? Are you serious right now? Have you guys seen this one? This was taken by the Gemini telescope off the big island of Hawaii. Young lady by the name of Laura used the Gemini went in on Atlas, and when she was viewing Atlas just a few nights ago, this is what it looked like. Now you're going to see various forms of Atlas here in this video. Most of them don't have dual exhaust coming out the back of Atlas like this one here. Are you serious? Dual exhaust? Come on, man. This thing here gets mysterious, more mysterious by the day. And you guys do know we're just six days away from its close approach to the Earth. It's not going to come anywhere near the Earth, but its close approach to the Earth is in 6 days, the 19th. So coming up on the 19th, we'll be able to get an even better view. I've got some images from Hubble, the space telescope, deep space telescope, views of 3i Atlas that you've probably not seen before. Alberto out of Narino, Colombia. We're going to go in tight. Now, these views, this is a little video segment he put together by stacking images together. No tail. No tail. I even inverted the format. This one here, this was just a few days later. There was nothing coming out the back. Now, the picture that we just saw right here shows two very distinct, almost the same length coming out the back, like you would see an airplane, right? Guys, what is this thing? I'm not kidding. What is this thing? There are people that are very hesitant to even call this thing a comet. They have a hard time saying, okay, that's a comet. It just doesn't roll off, the tongue right. They just can't call it a comet. And I'm actually one of those guys. I really am. No disrespect, but it just doesn't look like a comet, man. There's no tail there. That still looks like it did back in July. What? You're going to see an excellent view from the Hubble Space Telescope. This is a very good view. By a gentleman out of Colombia. This is with a 14-inch telescope. I mean, he's right up on this thing. Same gentleman, no tail. Look at that. If there were a tail there, honestly, in this format, if there were a tail, you would see it. I guarantee you would see it. You'd see it quite easily. It's just not there. So we can't manifest one, I guess, into reality. We're just working with exactly what we have to work with, and this is what the outcome is. There's just nothing there. I don't know. This is the most mysterious object in the nighttime sky, daytime sky for that, in the solar system right now. It really is, and it's leaving the solar system. In fact, let me show you where it's at right now. 3i Atlas, right here. Here you go. Today is the 13th. Yes, this is where we're at. 12:13. Atlas is outside of the orbit of Mars. Mars is the red circle you see right here. Atlas is obviously right up here, okay? Guess where it's headed? It's headed towards Jupiter. And by the time it gets over here, it's gonna be fairly close to Jupiter. Jupiter's the orange orbit, and then Mars, of course, is the red orbit. And again, it's flying in on the ecliptic plane, which comets don't normally do. It's flying in like an aircraft would. So anyway, that's on its way out the solar system, and we'll probably never see this thing again, So this is actually a very historic, rare moment in time. And honestly, I enjoy talking about it. I like looking at, new photos and images of this thing, because you're looking at this is historic, guys. I mean, this has only happened 3 times in recorded history. There you go. You can't make this stuff up. No tail. And that one right there, along with this one, you should have seen if there was one to be seen easily. Look at that. There's nothing there, man. You can't manifest one there. Okay, this one here was really cool. Turbotville, Pennsylvania. Chris Piazza, 12/5 of 2025. He's got 2 here going on at the same time. This is an asteroid over here, Cybele, 65 Cybele. And then, of course, 3i Atlas over here on the left, moving left to right. And then this is an asteroid over here on the right, moving right to left. Here you go. Check it out. They look almost similar, right? There's no tail behind Atlas. I'm going to zoom in on Atlas. This is fast forward, but no tail. Now I'm zooming in on the asteroid, and obviously no tail. Let's go back and look at that again. Wasn't that cool? The guy did a great job. I mean, he did an outstanding job. Chris Piazza out of Turbottville, Pennsylvania. One more time. Well done, sir. No, there's no tail behind that thing. What is that thing? I mean, seriously, what is it? This is an asteroid. We know what that is. Wow. Great, great job. Okay, here's some still images. Let's back it up a little bit. This is from the Gemini telescope. Laura Mae Abram out of Fraser Park, California, utilized the telescope and managed to pull that in right there. That's what we started the video out with, or that was the first look of the interstellar traveler. Here I put it in a different format. Look at the back of the thing. It looks like it has perfect dual exhaust. The reason this one looks a little bit different, I just flipped it, that's all, for perspective purposes, because that's the direction it was moving, like you guys just saw. But I wanted to get a different look, just a slightly different angle, and there you go. It looks like a baby pin, or part of a baby pin, you know what I mean? I don't know, it doesn't look like a comet. I mean, it kind of looks like a comet there, but basically the exact length, dual exhaust coming off the back of that thing. Almost looks like it's an intelligent design, you know, not natural. Oh, here you go. Here's a pretty decent view of it right there. See him? You can't miss him. Of course you see him. That is a head scratcher, man. I'm telling you. Okay, this next still image was taken by Sebastian Voltmer out of Utah. Goes to 12/1/2025. Notice the anti-tail. And that's the thing that he was focusing on. This is obviously a long exposure. It took probably 45 minutes just to take this one photo because you have to stack. And it's a process. It's a process. But he managed to pull in the anti-tail. And the anti-tail is a tail that it has, but it's in the wrong direction. It's pointing towards the sun. And there's very little debris behind it. There should be more than that. You know, it's called sublimination when comets go through solar systems. Well, the only one that we know of is ours. But anytime a comet comes through here, the pressure from the solar wind causes the material to break free and go obviously behind the comet, not in front of it. That is wild. That is just wild. There, it looks like a big push pin in the sky with the tail in the front. You can't make this stuff up. Alberto Vodniza out of Colombia. Again, two different views of the same object in the nighttime sky, December 10th. Just a little over 72 hours ago, I suppose, right around 72 hours. Here it is on the left in a slightly different format, but again, you know, you don't see a tail or anything like that. It looks a little bigger than it did back in July because it's considerably closer to the Earth. So there's the object. Maybe it's headed back to the star system that it came from, you know? Look at that. There's a close-up view right there. Same gentleman out of Colombia. There it is. It's just slightly enhanced. You can see it's got a real bright point right there. But the light saturation, as you're going to see when the Hubble zooms in on this thing, this is not a true perspective when it comes to size. It's not this big. But Hubble is going to show us how big this thing is. And it's going to show the anti-tail. Here it is again. If there were a tail, you would see it right there. Here's another view of the interstellar traveler. Guys, this thing came from another star. Here you go. Hubble telescope. Tony Scarmato, 11/30/2025. 3 different views out of Italy when he was using, you can set up times to, or he got on the Hubble. They have access to Hubble, and this is what Hubble pulled in less than 2 weeks ago. There's the anti-tail over here on the right. Now, the image that we're going to analyze in the middle, this is the one that's got the heavy light saturation. The comet's down in here, okay? But that's very bright, but that's not how big it actually is. That's just how much light that the coma, what little coma that it has, how much light it's reflecting. So that tells us it's pretty dense. Here it is, right there. So it's off center. If you notice the big circle of light around it right there, the comet's down in here. And that kind of goes in, you know, with the direction of movement that it's traveling. You know, it's not going to be directly in the center, but right there it is. Check this out. There it is. Thanks to Hubble and Tony. Thank you, Tony. Good job, man. Look at that. That's 3-eye atlas unlike you've ever seen it. There you go. Tell your friends. Share the video with all your contacts. Here it is. Here's the anti-tail. The sun's over here. That is a very rare view. And this is I'm not even sure what type of format they're using right here. But they've done some sort of modifications here. This is unlike anything I've ever seen with regard to Hubble and the Comet. See, Hubble, the thing with Hubble is not used to chasing comets. It has before in the past, a few times, but this was a special occasion, so they put Hubble on the Comet more than once. These are just some of the more recent images of 3-eye atlas via Hubble. And you can see the anti-tail right there. That's pointed towards the sun. And it goes on to say here, these are process displays from the 30th image of interstellar object, 3-eye atlas. Notice he called it object, taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. The left, which is over here on the right, the far bright one, shows the original 7 by 270 second exposure. The middle panel, which is the red one here with the blue and green, shows the unsharp mask filter applied to the original image to sharpen its features, and to the right panel shows the Larsen-Ciccania filter for detecting rotational gradients in an image. And then the right-hand panel shows evidence for 2 jets with a clear anti-tail. And that's one thing he was featuring in that last photo, the one over there on the far right, this one right here. Clearly has an anti-tail, which again is very rare. It has happened. This doesn't happen very often. It's just super rare. And it's kind of defies logic, really. It's just kind of strange. So anyway, there's nothing ordinary about this. A lot of people are super interested in 3-eye atlas, myself being one of them. Do I have any way of knowing if it's an intelligently designed craft? No, I do not. Does anybody? No, not that I know of. We can speculate and you know, do all kinds of hypotheticals based off of its direction of travel and the odds of it going through the solar system at 0.05%. You know, the odds are staggering. It's quite bizarre. It truly is. And I find it fun to analyze because, again, guys, we're looking at history. Mr. Graham 01, how could it navigate the Oort cloud, the Kuiper belt, the asteroid belt? You know what? That is a great question, Mr. Graham. And I put together this slideshow here. I was inspired by your way of thinking, and I've thought this myself many times with regard to travelers. How do they get through all of this debris? You see what I mean? And not only that, once they get through the Oort cloud and the Kuiper belt, how do they get through the asteroid belt and maintain the same course without getting knocked off course by all of this debris you see right here? They navigate through all of that. And there's the Kuiper belt. That's next. And then you've got the asteroid belt. That's inside the solar system here. And then you navigate through all the planets and all this debris, and nothing happens. How does that happen? Just randomly, you know what I mean? How does that happen naturally? Isn't that wild? It makes you wonder if these things aren't navigated. How do you navigate all that stuff naturally without colliding into something? That's there. Yeah, it makes your head spin, man. When you start to think about it, how much stuff is really out there. Like right there's the asteroid belt and the Kuiper and the Oort. There's a lot. There really is. There's a lot of debris out there. And these things, we've only had 3 interstellar travelers come through here that we know of in modern history. This being one of them, by the way. That's why it's so historic. And it's just super, super duper mysterious. So something that we've been watching since July. And you know what? It may not be the last. There could be more. So Stay tuned. You just never know. Here's an update. Oh, hey, Polenta, thank you. Yeah, I know, Polenta. Let me give you a thumbs up. Thank you, Polenta. You're very kind. Thank you for the super chat. Here's an update on the whatever we got going on down here, Polenta, in the southern Indian Ocean. This is showing up on the satellite that monitors the Earth 24/7. I've used this satellite for many years, and I've never noticed a green anomaly. I'm not saying that the ocean's green or the sky's green down here. Absolutely not. And it's probably not. But why does it look like it's green on satellite? I've been monitoring this now for almost a month. That's an image I just took on that's from the 9th. I haven't been there in a couple days, to be honest with you, but it probably looks the same. I want to take you guys to Lake Mead real quick. I get a lot of requests for Lake Mead, and Lake Mead is sitting at 1,060 feet. The magic number is 1,040. If it gets at or below 1,040, water restrictions take place. And believe it or not, water restrictions are already in place over here at Lake Mead and have been for a while. That's the only thing keeping this number where it's at. Yes, water restrictions have been in place. I meant to mention that the other day. And if you look at this chart over here, this is the actual database that monitors the water level at Lake Mead. And this is a big deal, guys. This is the primary water supply for a big part of the Southwest. Not only the Southwest, but this goes into Mexico as well. But notice the outflow, okay? This is the amount of water that's released. And they have to have enough water flowing through the gates to manage the power plant there. The Hoover Dam produces power. And that water, the water produces the power. So there has to be a certain amount of water go through the mighty Hoover Dam. But notice the outflow, the water that's going downstream. Are you serious right now? That is nothing. 2,800 cubic feet. Check this out. Look at it last year at this same time. December, we'll just use December 12th because they don't have today's updated yet. Look at the outflow number. 8,000. Almost 4 times as much going out. Yeah. Look, and we'll go back 10 years. Look at the numbers. Right there, they went down to 3,300 just on that day, and that was in 2018, 2019. And then look at it, normally 13,000, 10,000, 8,000. Look at this day, 1,200. That was on the 29th of November. Are you serious? 1,300 cubic feet per second. That's nuts. That is nuts. I've never seen it that low. So that's why the water level has not reached 1,040. That is exactly why, because that is a very evident, clear sign that water restrictions are indeed in place. Now, if this were to get to 1,040, you know what would happen? The water supply to Arizona that comes out of Lake Mead would basically all but stop. Yeah. Actually, Las Vegas. Las Vegas, believe it or not, from what I've researched, it's in this order. Lake Mead supplies water to Las Vegas, Arizona, and California, and in Mexico through Arizona. But the first to go under if they restrict water completely is Las Vegas. Then Arizona, then California. California last. And somebody negotiated that deal, that arrangement, 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago, back when this was built. They had enough foresight, whoever it was, to know that, hey man, if we start depending on this water and it gets shut off, we don't want to lose water. So somebody in California, they were looking out for California. So California will never lose water out of Lake Mead. But yeah, water restrictions have been in place over there since 2022, guys. And the outflow is all but a trickle right now. Earthquakes are pretty much all but a trickle right now. There's a few small ones around, no big ones since the solar activity has been quiet the last few days. We haven't seen any big earthquakes. They are not the primary driver of big earthquakes, but they definitely are a motivating force. Absolutely. Looking at the LASCO C2 and C3, very quiet, guys. There's not a whole lot going on right now with the sun. Just saw a little plasma plume jump off the western limb. That's because of the sunspots that are turning away from the Earth right now as I do this video. That was not a very big solar flare. It was just a small one, but it was on the western limb of the sun. So once again, guys, step outside tonight if you get a chance and it's not cloudy in your area. Tonight is the best chance to see possibly 60, up to 60 meteors per hour during the highly anticipated, the best meteor shower of the year, the Geminid meteor shower. Once again, you could see 2 per minute. That's actually a lot of fun. When it gets up to those types of numbers, that is indeed fun. So don't want you to miss it. If it's not cloudy, step outside and check it out. All right, Mr. Graham, is it a coincidence that 3i Atlas comes through at the same time as they confirm newly discovered and confirmed changes on our solar wind reversal? You know, that's a good question there, Graham. I also saw something today about Bermuda. You had mentioned the Bermuda Triangle. I saw something today about the Bermuda Triangle, and we're going to look into that. They found something over in the area of the Bermuda Triangle that we're gonna take a closer look at. But you're right, Graham. Those are very good questions, my friend. All questions that I've pondered myself. You know, the solar system and everything around the solar system. It's all quite fascinating, and it is interesting how things can just travel through there uninfluenced by any of that, those massive debris fields that are indeed out there. They travel right on through with no problem. So once again, we're just a few days away from 3i Atlas's close approach, December 19th to the Earth, and then it's going to head on out towards Jupiter for a rendezvous with Jupiter here in just a few weeks. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with me. As you know, once again, Friday has come and gone, and next thing you know, it will be Friday again. Time does definitely seem like it is moving faster, Mr. Graham. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.